I'm Hassan Kewo, and this is Newsline. 1 4 hour of news, analysis, background reports, and views, counter views from and about Liberia and the rest of the world. Today is Wednesday, January 28, 2026, and these are the headlines. Government says Liberia's diplomatic progress reflects renewed international credibility. Liberia to host the 2025 year-end Joint West Africa Monetary Zone statutory meeting early February. House divided over proposed resolution seeking to create additional seats in the legislature. And in foreign news, London court hears a €2 million Harrods spree linked to ex-Nigerian minister's bribery case. These and many more to come, including the news in French, simple Liberian English, and a passion of life sport. Before all that, here is Emmanuel Colley and the bulletin of news.
President Joseph Walker says Liberia's election to the United Nations Security Council demonstrates renewed global confidence in the country's leadership. The Liberian leader noted that this historic achievement elevates the country's global profile and enables the country to actively contribute to international peace and security. His first annual message on Monday, the president stated that the Security Council role builds upon Liberia's active engagement in regional bodies including ECOWAS, Man River Union, and the African Union. Featuring diplomatic successes, President Ibuaka pointed out the strengthening bilateral relations with the United States, evidenced by the extension of visa validity for Liberians. The chief Liberian diplomat reiterated his administration's core foreign policy principles, pledging to continue pursuing a strategy dedicated to promoting peace, prosperity, inclusion, and national pride. At the same time, President Joseph Walker has outlined economic diplomacy as a central pillar of his administration's agenda, aiming to transform Liberia's global economic engagement. Economic diplomacy is a use of government resources to promote the growth of a country's economy by increasing trade and promoting investments, among others. His annual message to members of the legislature on Monday, President Ibuaka said the government is ensuring a decisive switch from aid dependence to trade and investment.
Administration will pursue a foreign policy that promotes peace, prosperity, inclusion, national pride, and strengthening its global standing by boosting international meetings.
The Liberian leader disclosed that his government has engaged over 50 foreign and diaspora investors in priority sectors including agriculture, energy, and infrastructure. He said Liberia's foreign policy is guided by a firm commitment to the international system grounded in the United Nations, multilateralism, and international law. Over 600 social housing units are expected to be constructed by the government in February this year. The project, which is expected to be implemented in 6 counties, is intended to address overcrowdedness, insecure conditions, and adequate housing facilities. President Ibuaka made the disclosure Monday. He delivered his annual message to members of the legislature.
The National Housing Authority will begin building 600 social housing units across 6 counties in February this year.
The president during his address underscored the strong need to improve citizens' livelihoods through the provision of dignified housing units and other basic social services. The housing units, according to the president, will be constructed by the National Housing Authority and partners. Liberia is expected to host the 2025 end-of-year Joint West African Monetary Zone statutory meeting. The event is a major regional gathering on monetary cooperation and integration. The meeting, which will run from February 4 to the 13th, is expected to highlight key issues including monetary union, statutory of central bank, and the status of the ECOWAS Solidarity and Stabilization Fund. CBL's Deputy Director for Research, Mankra, described Liberia's role as host nation and underscored the pivotal role of the different bodies.
Which is the West African Monetary Agency, WAMI, the West African Monetary Institute based in Ghana, and WIFIN, West African Institute of Financial and Economic Management, is based in Nigeria. They are responsible to guide member states.
He highlighted that WAMAN, WAMI, and WAPA are responsible to guide member states by enhancing the integration of agenda in the sub-region, conducts research, and provides macroeconomic recommendations to member states. The gathering will convey central bank governors, finance ministers, and technical experts from across West Africa, selected regional and global bodies. Members of the House of Representatives are divided over a proposed resolution seeking to create additional seats in the legislature. Some lawmakers argue that the move is not timely, warning that it could place added strain on the country's already limited financial space. Others, however, contend that expanding the legislature is necessary to ensure full representation and adherence to constitutional provisions. Meanwhile, House Speaker Richard Koo has constituted a specialized committee to conduct public hearings and nationwide consultations on the proposal. Speaker Koo said engaging citizens is essential to promoting transparency, inclusiveness, and national ownership of the process. If adopted, the resolution could increase the number of seats in the House of Representatives from its current 73 to 87. President Joseph Boakai has promised to implement stringent measures to support national growth, development, and citizens' dignity. These measures, according to the president, include a comprehensive review of all concession frameworks to correct historical inequalities and management of the country's natural resources. The Liberian leader also named the proposed rehabilitation of decayed public infrastructures and the laying out of Monrovia and major cities across the country. President Boakai promised will be made, he said, to relocate the Palm Grove Cemetery in an attempt to restore national honor and respect to the remains of former presidents.
I will take immediate action to resolve the long-standing issue of relocating Palm Grove Cemetery, where the remains of our
The Liberian leader believes that steps are backed to restoring dignity to public service, safeguarding national assets, and ensuring Liberians achieve a fair share of the country's wealth. President Boakai made a remarks Monday when he delivered his annual message to the legislature in Monrovia. Government says it has transitioned half of its agencies to a unified ICT system through the creation of a new ICT strategic action plan. Government said by November 2025, 56% of those entities are fiber optic network installed, and 80% of critical ICT infrastructure secured with cybersecurity measures. President Boakai in his annual message said digital finance advanced with the use of mobile money, rising from 60%, that's 46%, to 58% in 2025.
digital initiative, we created a new ICT strategic action plan to modernize the national telecommunications. A lot of the government agencies have transitioned to unified ICT system.
The Liberian leader said the central bank also launched the inclusive instant payment system, enabling real-time transactions and cross-border payments across Africa. This, according to the president's expanded mobile network coverage to underserved areas, improving access and participation in the digital economy. Meanwhile, the Liberian chief executive said the National Port Authority remains a critical gateway to Liberia's economy. The president said the government will break the long-standing monopoly and boost competition following his visit to the Kingdom of Morocco in 2025. The Moroccan Port Development Entity agreed to invest in equipment and logistics for the ports of Monrovia. President Boakai further stated that master plans for the ports of Monrovia and Buchanan have been developed. In his annual message, President Boakai noted that further upgrades will be carried on, including dredging of the port of Monrovia for larger ships, easing congestion, reducing costs, and introducing 24-hour operations. Finance and Development Planning Minister Gosling Mufwan is urging the government, ministries, and agencies not to delay in the budget execution plan. Mr. Gafwan noted that any delay in executing the budget team could further hinder President Bouakar's quest in acceleration of national development. He wants that the Liberian government budget executors do not budget executors to be at the mercy of the Liberian people whose livelihoods need to be improved.
If you delay them, you have delayed President Morgan. President Morgan wants speed execution. So don't get on the wrong side of President Morgan.
Mr. Gavon spoke Wednesday at the EJS Ministerial Complex in Congo Town at the start of the 3-day budget execution workshop based on the 2026 national budget. He at the same time urged financial personnel to be transparent in the operations by allowing proper documentations to pass, deny others that are rightfully done. Meanwhile, the 3 days gathering is being attended by various government spending entities and ministries. According to Assistant Minister for Budget Sarah Moba, the gathering seeks to reinforce common understanding of legal and policy as well as institutional framework and budget execution. Mr. Moba also said it will focus on budget execution processes and procedures, compliance and reporting, public procurement processes and procedures.
It focused on execution processes, procedure, compliance and reporting requirements, and the growing responsibility of key actors across nations and agencies. The corner deal will focus on public sector investment plan and disbursement requirements.
The 3-day workshop is one of the themes strengthening government budget through transparency, accountability, and inclusive budget implementation. It is being attended by financial personnel from various government ministries and agencies. Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA Executive Director Dr. Emmanuel Yapawolo, has re-echoed several effects of climate change to Liberia. Dr. Yapawolo highlighted heavy rainfall, flooding, coastal erosion, and unpredictable farming seasons as serious risks to lives and livelihoods across the country. He emphasized that women and vulnerable groups are often the most affected by climate impacts, but also play a critical role in protecting families and communities. The EPA Executive Director was speaking at the start of the 3-day workshop in Buchanan Grand Bassa County, hosted by the Climate Information System Projects. Over 60 women in Buchanan Grand Bassa County are attending a 3-day climate resilience training and validation workshop. The workshop is being hosted by the Environmental Protection Agency in collaboration with the Enhancing Climate Information System Project CIS. The training aims to enhance community resilience by empowering women as key conduits for climate information dissemination. At the start of the training, CIS project manager Nelson Jala highlighted the importance of the project and the contribution women play in disseminating climate information to larger audience. And more than 30 health practitioners at the St. Joseph Catholic Hospital in Congo Town are undergoing a week-long continuous professional development training. The training is organized by the Nursing Online Liberia, a medical education organization. Nursing Online Liberia Executive Director Shelley Saki Famula said the training is focused on safe patient care, infection prevention, effective communication, and practical nursing skills, among others. And the family expressed gratitude for the support from the hospital's leadership as well as participants.
He comes back later with our weather and also our forum. Well, during the 3rd annual address to the legislature and the Liberian people Monday, President Joseph Boakai promised to initiate key steps to support national development. These steps, the president believes, will restore dignity and ensure a fair share of the country's natural resources among the citizens. Here is an excerpt of the Liberian leader's address on Monday.
I will ensure that we continue